Hello, it's Jackson here again. So I just wanted to make a very quick video to upload today talking about why I use VS Code. Actually, almost everyone here at the Covalence office uses VS Code, and we recommend that everyone in our boot camps use VS Code as well. And we get a lot of questions from our students sometimes about can they use Atom or Sublime Text or insert your favorite text editor of choice or integrated development environment. And really, there's a lot of choices that you have as a software developer, and sometimes when you're learning how to, how to code, you have to decide which editor you're going to use, and depending on which source that you go to for your education, they may tell you to use one or the other. For us, we use VS Code pretty extensively and exclusively, but this isn't to say that it's the correct choice, so to speak. But I did want to take a few minutes today and just tell you a little bit about why we make that decision and why we use it pretty extensively here at Covalence. So the first thing is, right out of the box, as soon as you download VS Code, there's a lot of built-in functionality that is really, really nice to have, and you don't have to go searching for other extensions or plugins to, make this functionality work and work extremely well. So the first part of that is the terminal. So VS Code has an integrated terminal, and you can see behind me I've already got VS Code pulled up. And there's a couple of ways that you can toggle this. The easiest way is just to go up here to View, and then scroll down until you see the integrated terminal. And over in the right-hand side of this menu bar, you will see the keyboard shortcut for this. Or you can just click here, and it will bring up the integrated terminal, where you will initialize this shell, and you can start typing. You'll have access to all the same commands that you currently do. So it pulls the terminal up in this current directory that your project is in. And so you don't have to open up a new window and navigate to that particular directory or project that you're working in. VS Code pulls it up immediately, and you're able to open and close this terminal at will. Now, if you are a little bit more advanced and you've already got some front-end applications working, and you're running a local host server for your local development environment, you may want to run a server in your terminal. And up until recently, I think it was the February 2018 update, you would have to have multiple instances of your terminal running, and you would have to switch between the two with this little drop-down menu here. But as of the February 2018 update, you can actually have multiple terminal windows open in the same VS Code window, which is really, really nice. So all you have to do is hover over this icon in between the trash can icon, which kills the terminal, or the plus icon, which opens up a new one, and you can click the split terminal, or alternatively on macOS, press Command and then / here, and it will split the terminal into two windows. So you can have one running a server, and you can have another one open for get commands, or if you want to do any sort of navigation or file modification, or just navigate to a different terminal without leaving VS Code. This is a lifesaver. I have been using this extensively, especially since they released this update, and I absolutely love it. I try to keep my windows maximized to take up as much of the screen real estate as I can when I'm coding, and being able to keep the terminal here and right here in VS Code, and I have it really zoomed in right now for ease of use, and so you guys can see this more easily. But when you have everything at normal zoom levels and the terminal is only taking up a little bit, you can even make it go to the right hand side if you have a really wide monitor, and then those terminal windows stack on top of each other like you can see here. So it just makes it super clean, super easy to use. And I'm going to digress because I'll keep raving about it. But that's it for the terminal. I just wanted to bring your attention to that. The other built-in functionality, which is really, really, really awesome, is the built-in source control. And so you can already kind of see this in the File Explorer on the left-hand side of the screen here. But you can see that I've opened up this project that had a Git repository initialized in it, and we've already made some commits and changes, and we've modified some files and added a new file, and we haven't committed any of those changes or pushed them. So VS Code is going to tell us right here in the File Explorer which files have been modified, which files haven't been tracked, and then if you want a summary of that, you can actually manage all of these changes right within VS Code simply by clicking this third icon for the source control pane here. And then you can add a commit message, you can stage these changes, and then you can create a new commit to make all these changes in this Git commit, and then you can push or pull to your remote repository as well. And to be able to do this right here within VS Code while you're still looking at your code, you can even open up these changes here to see what was made, what the changes were made, and see the live additions and removals here in the Git commit that you are going to make. It's also really, I can unstage these changes, so if I only want to commit the app.js here that I don't have tracked, I can stage that, commit it, add it, push it, and then pull any changes that may have been made that I don't have on my local repository. Once you know the basics of Git, and especially when you start working in teams, if you aren't already, being able to navigate so freely between your actual code, the working changes of your code when you're committing, being able to push and pull right within VS Code, which in and of itself is a pretty lightweight editor, and then also being able to open up the terminal if you need to and run a server if you need, or dig into those Git commands a little bit more to get a little bit more error handling is super, super awesome. So that highlights the couple of things that I wanted to just bring your attention to as to why I mean, those two reasons alone are enough for me to not mess with any other editors. For a while I used Atom and Sublime Text, and I gave them a try, but VS Code is just, it's very hard for me to get away from because they release monthly updates and it continues to get better and better. But there's a couple of more things that make it really awesome, and I want to bring those things to light as well. So the other thing is there's a robust extension marketplace right within VS Code. So they've made this super easy to use. So not only do you get live source control changes, and you can make Git commits and push and pull from those, you can also debug right within the editor, but the extension marketplace is really, really cool. And I'll tell you why. Extensions and plugins aren't unique to VS Code in any shape or form, but being able to browse them right here without having to open up a separate window and be able to see, which ones I have installed and which ones that VS Code is recommending that I install based off of my usage and based off of which ones are popular is really, really awesome. And if I want to take a look at these, like if I want to add this debugger for Chrome so I can debug my JavaScript, all I have to do is click on that extension and it's going to give me the actual web page that I would see if I was on the VS Code website. And I'm going to be able to evaluate this extension, see how many installs it has, and I'm going to be able to evaluate whether or not I actually want to install this. And then all I have to do is install it and reload. And now all of a sudden I have this extension in my editor. I didn't have to open up a browser. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to find it on GitHub or on the Visual Studio's website. It's right here. And to be able to do this, and we've got another video about some of the extensions that we really like to use here, so be sure to check that out. I'll try to link it in the description below. But to be able to have all this functionality packaged right into VS Code, it's really, really cool. And finally, one of the big reasons why we are such big proponents of VS Code here at Covalence is because of its robust TypeScript support. So if you don't already know, VS Code is an open source editor, but it's created and maintained primarily by Microsoft. And it's, so Microsoft created the C# language, and they have the Visual Studio IDE for that. But VS Code is really a much more lightweight and nimble version of a text editor for really mostly web development for JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, PHP, any type of development that you want to do. But the TypeScript support for VS Code is absolutely fantastic. And if you don't know what TypeScript is, it's a way that you can add typings and data types more strictly to JavaScript. So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language, so you don't have to enforce a specific data type when you're creating functions or you're declaring variables. TypeScript, however, you can create that strict data type, so it's a strongly typed language, and then it compiles to JavaScript. And I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of TypeScript in this video. I'm actually going to wrap it up, but I do want to say that we have a TypeScript basics video on our channel as well, so I'll try to link that in the description as well. And that'll go into more basics where Matt and Will go into what is TypeScript and how you use it, and it's all in VS Code, so you'll be able to see the robust support there. But similar to how, if you have an error in your file and you want to try to track that down, VS Code will give you a little red underline. It's the same exact type of thing, where if you are trying to pass in a variable that is declared as a number, for example, and you're trying to pass it into a function that doesn't accept a number, it will tell you that you need to reconcile that difference. So that's just a short end of it. But if you don't know what TypeScript is, go check out that video and you'll see all of the things that VS Code will allow you to do with it. And we use this extensively. Like I said, VS Code is a really, really powerful text editor that is becoming more and more powerful every day. And I think that if you're using something like Atom or Sublime Text, you really should give VS Code another shot, especially if it's been a few months, because they keep making it better and better. So I'm going to digress. That's it for this video. Again, I'm going to have some links in the description for some things that I mentioned in this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video. It feels kind of weird asking for this, but we do look at every single comment, every single like, every single subscriber, and we really appreciate your support. We're really going to be making a lot more videos from now on, and any feedback that you have, we're more than happy to hear it, and we really appreciate it. So thanks for viewing if you made it this far, and I hope it's been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.